One of the most challenging parts of being the founder and the maintainer of a Jewish organization is fundraising. And there's no secret to fundraising. It's a lot of sweat and hard work, and tefillah and bitachon and emunah and bitachon. And I always tell one of my close friends that the amount of ishtadlus you need to do is proportional according to your bitachon. So you should spend at least 50% of your time increasing your bitachon, because then when your bitachon is higher, then to achieve the same results, you need less ishtadlus. So if you spend time working on your bitachon, then you'll need much less ishtadlus. But I want to reveal to you a secret today about fundraising, and it's called WIGs. WIGs. And you might be asking yourself, Rabbi Travis, what do WIGs have to do with fundraising? Right? Now, if you're a woman fundraising, probably having a nice wig will help your chances. If you're bald like myself, balding, then you might have a toupee. That might help you a little bit. But Baruch Hashem, we wear hats, so we have that problem. But WIGs is an acronym. I want to share this acronym with you today because I feel that if you have to fundraise, this can help you very, very, very much. And the acronym is like this. Basically, there's all Klal Yisrael and beyond out there who are potential donors to your cause. You have to zero into the person who's really going to be your giver, right? How can you tell that? Well, the first thing you need, right, and it's not always true, but the first thing which is helpful is somebody wealthy. Wealthy. Because if a person has no money, he could be the most generous person in the world, but you're not going to get very far with the person, right? They say that some of the most successful Purim campaigns in Israel, right, Bachrim going around collecting, are in the poor neighborhoods because they are much more inclined to give since they don't have anything anyway. Chazal tell us, you have a money, you want matayim. So a person who has money, it's harder to give. But if you really want to raise money, so it's helpful to turn to somebody who's wealthy or at least has money to give. That's the first thing. Then the third thing, right, of the acronym of WIGs is generous. A person has to be generous. You can have somebody very wealthy, he's not generous. Or you can have someone generous, but he's not wealthy. In fact, we make hints. Can someone pass me a siddur? We make hint to this concept every day in our davening, right? That there are people who are wealthy and not generous, and generous and not wealthy. And in fact, it's not talking about people, it's talking about Hashem. Every day in Modim, we say, like this, we say, Hatoiv kilo chal rachamecha, v'amrechem kilo samachasdecha. Hashem is good because His mercy doesn't end, and He's merciful because His goodness doesn't end, His chesed. And the Vilna Gaon points out, it should say, Hashem is good because His goodness doesn't end, and He's merciful because His merciful doesn't end. Why does He say He's good because His mercy doesn't end, and He's merciful because His goodness doesn't end? And the Vilna Gaon answers exactly what the point that we're making, right? Is that a person can be good, very good. Sorry, a person can have a lot of assets, but he doesn't have mercy. He's not going to be able to give it. A person can have a lot of mercy, but he doesn't have assets. We need both things. So that's the first and the last letter of the WIG acronym, WIG. Now the middle letter, the I, is, I believe, the most important and the most difficult, and that's interested, right? The acronym of WIGs is wealthy, interested, and generous. Because you can have a guy who's really wealthy and really generous, but he's just not interested in what you're doing. For example, I was once by a very wealthy individual in California, and I asked him for $5,000, and he laughed. He said, listen, it's hard for me to give to your cause because I give 100% of my income away to tzedakah, right? He was running a major organization at the time. And if it was something he was really interested in, he would probably be able to find that. So you have to find those individuals who are wealthy, interested, and generous if you want your organization to have large donations. How do you find these people? How do you find these people? Well, that's not easy. My personal theory or strategy is I just go around and I speak to as many people as possible. I give shirim, I speak in Turning Time, I go speak in public areas all around the world, and eventually you meet these people, right? Eventually you'll meet the people who are wealthy, generous, and interested in what you're doing, right? The WIGs. And that's how you can run an organization, a kollel, yeshiva, a seminary, a chesed organization, whatever you might be doing, Turning Time, right? And while we're on the topic of WIGs and Turning Time, I just want to point out that Turning Time is conducting their annual campaign. They're conducting their annual campaign. And as a speaker, we are proud and happy to have committed ourselves to raise, what is it, $50 million, $10,000 for Turning Time. So if you're a regular watcher of my shirim, which I'm very grateful if you are, and you're wealthy, interested, and generous, or even if you're just interested and you're not wealthy and not generous, well, hopefully you're generous. But if you are somebody who watches my shirim and you would like to help me out a little bit because I have this commitments that I've gladly made to Turning Time for all the work they do. So if you could be in touch with us, be in touch with me at Rabbi Travis, just office at rabbitravis.org, or alternatively, my personal email, dytravis613@gmail.com. If you want to tell me something about the shirim, thumbs up, thumbs down, or tell me that my tie needs to be straightened out, like some people tell me. Or, most importantly, if you want to be part of the Turning Time campaign, right? If you give $1,000, I will, B'ezras Hashem, daven for you 40 days of the Kosel for something that is important to you, $85 a month. And I look forward from hearing from you. And think about what we said today. If you need to raise money for an important cause, look for somebody. Try to find people wealthy, interested, generous. Daven to Hashem. Hashem should meet. You send them to you. Baruch Hashem, I've met many of them, and I'm very grateful to all of them who've been helping me out. And I hope you'll meet soon the people who are wealthy, generous, and interested in what you're doing. Amen. Kain Tiratzon.